teach as part of a curriculum, I'll try to first see that okay, what are the different ways I can put this topic and then explain it to her, and it gives me good ideas, some great suggestions which you can make use of. Right. So this is something. Somebody is working in, let's say, in the domain of computing, IT, and so on. So you can also use this one. That, okay, I need to teach, for example, a particular topic, right? A particular programming language. How can I introduce this concept to my students? And it will give you a lot of suggestions based on that. Okay, so that's one. So I'll just close this one. Yeah. Something very important which I'm going to talk about over here is, one second, is this option. So they have recently come up with something called a shopping search. Now, shopping search is basically, instead of going to multiple websites and trying to search for what product you're looking for, you can now use that same search within ChatGPT, right? For example, just taking a hypothetical example, let's say I want to buy a particular brand watch, okay, wristwatch. So I will put a search like this. Okay, please don't judge me when I'm putting this, but yeah, this is the scenario. Inshallah, someday I'll be able to afford that. Yeah, so let's say I want to do that and I put up a prompt saying I plan to buy a Patek Philippe watch under AED 50,000 dirhams. Okay, now you see that I have put the shopping search over here, my prompt. So I'll put enter. Now, what ChatGPT will do over here is it will start. Sorry. Just give me a moment. I hope it works. So what basically ChatGPT will do is ChatGPT will try to search for different sources, different e-commerce website, will evaluate different options, and then give me a list where I will be able to make a decision that which is relevant for me, and then I can click on that particular link and I can make the purchase. Right? That is basically your shopping research will help you with. Okay. So give it some time because it will take at least 2-3 minutes. Meanwhile, I'll just tell you that if you have any queries or doubts, please put it in the chat box. So at the end, I will try to cover and answer your queries over there. Okay. All right, so now it's kind of did it part of research and it is now giving me the option. Okay, now all this gyan which ChatGPT will give you, you can just go through it. Okay, I'll just straight get to the point. So I'll just scroll down and I'll see the option. Okay, now it's giving me a decision that okay, if best overall suggestion is over here, so it's suggesting me this particular watch, which is this particular product brand, which is sorry Calatrava and whatever the code that is, and it will cost me approximately 45,000. Okay, but this is the best overall option. But there are more options also which will suggest me. So it also gives me nice comparison table where I can compare different. For example, it's starting at something at 26,000 dirhams, right? So this is the starting point for my budget, and it all the way goes to around 45,000, which is this one, which is recommended. Then it will also give us the multiple parameters based on which it is suggesting or it is recommending us that okay, this is the best choice, right? And it all will give you additional picks which you are interested. But it's all this it's compiled over here in this research, and you can make a call like this. Clear? Another use case which I recently started doing with ChatGPT was I recently wanted to renew the insurance for my car. So instead of going on multiple websites and comparing on the comparison websites, I thought let me give it a try on ChatGPT and see if it works. So I did the same thing. I gave a prompt that I drive an XYZ car and the value of the car is this, the mileage of the kilometers is this much, and so on, right? And then I hit enter. So it did research and then it told me that okay, there's a company, XYZ company, which is the best plan and it's affordable and it gives me XYZ benefits out of it, right? So I was able to make that decision easily instead of me comparing multiple options and see that okay, which one is better in my case and so on, right? So these are the two use cases that you can make use of the shopping research part. Okay. Second is, all right. Now there's this option called as explore apps. So ChatGPT has opened its platform, it's given its API to other apps and websites which can connect to ChatGPT and you can still get the work done. So for example, if I click on explore apps over here, you can see all these are multiple apps that you can connect with. For example, now I personally don't listen on Spotify, I don't use Spotify. But what you can do is if you are somebody who uses Spotify, you can click on Spotify and you can tell me that okay, make a list of playlist of 25 songs for for relaxing mood and so on. So it will automatically will make a curated list for you and will prepare. You click it and it will automatically will take you to your Spotify account where you can start listening to it. Right? Same way, if you are into social media, if you're making content, you can again use Canva. If you have an account on Canva, so click on it, it will automatically connect on Canva, tell through ChatGPT prompt what design do you want to make. I have personally tested on this one. The results are not that great so far, but there's a play around with it which we'll use in Gemini. I'll show you there. All right. Now, let me see what's the second point that I have on my list. Yeah, so explore GPT. Then another thing that you can use Chat GPT, and this goes out for all the academicians. If you are someone who uses case studies in your classroom, so this will be beneficial for you. So what you can do is there's an option, okay. Yeah. So there's an option on the left hand side. When I click on apps, you can see I get this option called as GPTs on the top right corner of my web page. Right. So I click on this GPTs. Right. Now here I can search multiple GPTs. Now what are GPTs? In a simplest form, I can give an example. Let's say if a LLM, large language model like ChatGPT and so on, assume it's as a car. Right. Now in your car, if you're fitting any accessories, be it a music system, be it rims, be it some other features that you want to add, right? So these are different GPTs that you can plug into your car, right? I hope that makes sense. So one of my personal favorite GPTs which I use is this called Case Creator. On the left hand side where I'm hovering my mouse, you can see over here. So you can search something called as Caselet Creator. So when I click on Creative Creator, it gives me over here. So I can click and you can just install it, right? Simple. So I've already installed and it's showing me on my left hand side on the panel. Now what this particular GPT will do is, I will go on any particular article that I want to discuss in my class. So for example, I came across this article which talks about Kita, its entry in the UAE market, right? Let's say I'm teaching a topic related to marketing strategy about e-commerce and I'm focusing on Kita and so on, something like this. So I find this as a relevant topic and how do I make use this as a case study? So what I can do is, there are two ways I can do. Let me try the first one. So I can copy the URL, okay? I can go back to my ChatGPT over here. All right. Yeah. I can go back to my ChatGPT over here and I can click on create a caselet from this news article. So I'll click on this. All right. So I'll share a link of this and then enter. Now what ChatGPT will do in this case is that it will try to find the article first. It will get me complete text out of it, right? And it's complete text, okay? And then at the same time, it will give me discussion question. So what it has done is, it has taken a lengthy article. Let me show you the article. So article starts from here. Now for me to read the whole thing and, it will take time, obviously. And if you have time, then make sure you read the whole article. But at times you do not have time and you want to have some quick discussion point in your class. So it's a very lengthy article, right? Now what ChatGPT has done in this case is that it has kind of summarized the key aspects over here, okay? And then it has also talked about, okay, this one, and then it's giving me questions based on this. So for example, it talks about the strategic entry of Kita in the UAE. There's a question based on competitive advantage. There's a question based on customer service quality, monetization, and so on. All right. You can also, if you don't want these questions, if you're not happy with these kind of questions, you can tweak it. How do you tweak it? So you go back again on your case creator. Yeah, I'll go back on the case creator again. Okay. And then what I will do is I'll click on again the create a caselet. And this time I will copy and paste the whole article and I'll paste it in ChatGPT over here. Right. And now in this particular case, ChatGPT will, or this particular GPT caselet creator will ask me that what aspects do you want to focus in your case? So I will say that, okay, I only want to focus on market entry strategy and let's say the audience, target audience, which it talks about. Only two aspects. So all the questions, the 4 or 5 questions that the case creator will give me will be based on these aspects. Right? So this is a very good tool for you to use in your classrooms. Okay. And if you need somebody who is working in industry, you can also make use of this just to keep your yourself, okay, what's the latest thing happening in your industry. If there is a particular article that you can consider it as a case and you can learn from it. Okay, you can use that as well. All right, so that's about your chat GPT. We'll be moving on to the next tool. Do you have any questions? I'll look into the chat box now, but any questions for chat GPT as of now? All good? Okay. All right, so we'll move to the next tool now. The second tool that I'm going to show you a demo on, which is Claude. Okay. As I mentioned earlier in this session, that Claude is my personal favorite tool, and I'll show you the reasons why. I use this for deep analytical and critical thinking, most importantly, and for my academic research work. Okay. So, all right. Now this is your Claude. Okay. The same user interface, what we have or what we're commonly using with ChatGPT, we have a chat prompt over here, all right? And then, one second. So you have a chat prompt over here, left side you have a panel which you can make use of, and then there are different models. The current one is 4.6, so I'm not on the current one, I'm currently using the free version with my office mail. For my personal account, I have a paid one which I'm upgraded and it's currently on the Opus 4.6, right? So for now, I'm going to use this 4.5. Right? So you have, when you click on plus, the same kind of things that what we have already seen in ChatGPT, you have something similar, but something more advanced with Claude. So first thing what I'm going to do is that the way you should use Claude is you need to make a Word document. I would encourage you to make use of Google Docs and not Microsoft Word for a simple reason. Make a Google Doc, okay? In this Google Doc, you ask any GPT, Claude or ChatGPT, anything that give the prompt to these AI tools, tell them that ask me all the questions that you think are necessary for you to give better response to my queries. Okay, now it will give you, let's say around 20-30 questions it will give you. All right, I'll show you a document which I've created over here. See, so this particular document, I personally call this as a personal knowledge base builder. It's a living document, which means every week I can go back to this particular document and I can update something new over here. All right, maybe for example, let's say in my profile or my profession, I've come across a very interesting research paper and I thought, okay, this could be a very good topic for me for my next paper, right? So I will take some snippets from that particular paper which I've read and I'll put it away in this document, right? So what will happen is when when Claude gives me answers and I ask question and I ask specifically that Claude to refer to this document, this living document. So all the responses that you will get will be from this particular document. All right. So the kind of question that you can ask is, for example, I've given the prompt. I want you to help me build a living personal knowledge document about me. This document will act as a long-term reference so that future outputs you provide can be more accurate, personalized, and context aware. All right. And then it gives me questions. So I'll just show you quickly what kind of